one and all. Welcome back to the channel. It's me, your nomadic granddaddy. And we are back in the world of Horizon 5. That's right, it's Wednesday. And what is Wednesday? Well, Wednesday is the daily challenges playthrough. And let's get to it. Well, first, let's look at some news real quick, shall we? Let it. Oh, no, we're not going to do wheel spins just yet. No. We'll save that for the end. All right, news. What do we get? We got 4 pieces of news to go through here. Let's see here. Save those Forzathon points. Tomorrow, Tommy Bargains debuts his classic Wednesday Forzathon sale for its inaugural week. Okay. With steep discounts on classic cars, including some of the most prestigious and acclaimed. It's time to ensure that you have enough points. Check your point balance in the shop located on the playlist. Earn points in arcade and completing daily and weekly Forzathon challenges on the festival playlist. Well, that'd be great if we could earn all 7 weekly things, but this week we can't, so piss off. Next up, we've got the 1955 Mercedes-Benz 300 SLR. It's a treasured masterpiece. Well, okay, sure. Also glass. While it's never been blah blah blah. Private collector. Iconic vintage on the play. All right, fine. 160 points. The 1955 Porsche 550 Spider. Again, going over that. Unlock it on the playlist. There's a new Horizon story available in Horizon 5. Car and culture in Mexico as you drive. Wide range of cars shaped. Okay, we already did that. That's Remy's thing. Introduced a new roll indicator for Hot Wheels called G-Forza. Well, that's all old news. There is no new news. All right, so suck it, Horizon. You have wasted our time on the news. Shame on you. Shame on you. Shame on you. So let us go to the festival playlist. And as you can see, we've already got both of those lovely vehicles. And they are lovely vehicles in my opinion. So here we are. We've already got 1 out of the 7. Well, we aren't going to get all 7. You'll find that out in the end. So here we go. We've got to win a drag race in a classic. Rare classics. And that'll get you the stylish victory. 20 points. These are all worth 20 points, by the way. Next is Animal Crossing. Earn 2 stars from Trailblazers in any Mustang. Does that include the Mach-E? I wonder. I don't know. My precious. Take a picture of any vehicle. Well, that's simple. Ideal Make. Win a street race in a Rods and Customs car. All right, so we're kind of all over the spectrum on cars here. And then earn a total of 300 miles per hour across speed traps in any Cult Classics. And then the last one, which is available in 1 hour and 51, and the reason why I can get away with doing this earlier than normal is winning streak. Eliminate 3 opponents in the Eliminator. Well, I don't have that ability to do that, you see. I am not a premium Xbox or XLive Gold member, and that's what you need to be in order to do the Eliminator. I wonder why that is. Huh. Well, I can't do the trial anyhow, but there you go. Right. Other than that. And then after that, we'll look at what's coming up. So let's go back to the top. I think it's win a drag race. Yes, we're going to have to go to Mexico for this. So let's travel to Mexico. And while the game is traveling to Mexico, why don't you travel on over to that follow button on Twitch and follow this channel on Twitch. And if you're watching this on YouTube, you could travel on over to the subscription button and subscribe to the YouTube channel. And then, if depending on if you're on Twitch, you could travel over to YouTube. If you're on YouTube, you could travel over to Twitch and do the same thing again. Haha, yes you could. But while you're on YouTube, you could like this video too. That'd be very kind of you. Very kind. And very much appreciated by myself. Yes. Also on YouTube, did you know you could set notifications? It's a great little thing. What you do is you just click on notifications, and you can set up when you want to receive them too from this channel. But it will alert you every time a new video goes up on the channel. So when I'm done streaming live, which I do on Twitch, I upload that video onto YouTube. And you could be one of, if not the first, to view it on YouTube.
Welcome back, Danny.
That's a little special honor, isn't it? Yeah, No, you don't get a special prize, but you get the satisfaction of knowing you're the first, you're that #1 viewer. Huh? Isn't there a little bit of satisfaction in knowing that? I think so. Might be. I don't know. Depends on the person. Huh? All right, so we need a drag car. Well, we just need a car. A quick car. That's a quick car. Let's use it. Oh, wait, no, crap. It has to be a, shoot, no. It can't be any quick car. It's got to be a what? Classic, a rare classic. So back to the garage. Rare classic. Rare classic. Rare classics right there. What do we got, kids? Oh, we got the DB5. Oh, look at that. The 8-liter all done up. Pretty. The Berlinetta. The Dino. I do dig the California. I do. I really like the California. But the Gullwing, come on, doesn't the Gullwing deserve to win something? I think so. Talk about iconic cars. The Gullwing is, in my opinion, is one of the most iconic. It's just such a beautiful, beautiful car. Right. Let's get to it, shall we? And we're right at the Mexico Festival, so we're right by a drag strip. Oh, my morning tea. Yes, it's an Irish breakfast tea. That is what it is. And it's tasty. I love it so much that I have it every morning. All right, we're going to go to the drag strip. And there you go. Solo. Oh, well, Don, you know what? I'm going to have to try that. But right now, we're just doing the standard. We're just doing the standard race here. Oh, crap. I just selected the wrong vehicle. God bless it. This is why. This is why the current car should be the first selected car that comes up. Why they do that recommended first is, it's just annoying, isn't it? It's very annoying. And I'm going to have to back out of this now and do it again. Just annoy it. That's all I got to say is What the hell? It's a drag race. Let's just win it and be done with it, right? We can't change cars, so let's just do it. Let's just do it because it's points, right? It's points and it's money, so you might as well just get it over with. It's a drag race. It's not like it's going to take very long, so I'll just do it. And I'll be happy that I'm doing it, right? Where are we at? Do we break 200? No, we didn't break 200. Got a $1.95 out of it. 16 seconds. Poop. Okay, there we go. Righto. Yeah, so everybody write to your local Horizon 5 representative and tell them to fix the frickin' car selector. Because it's absolute crap. Now we got to go back in. Go back to Benz. Actually, I'm going to go to Mercury because the Benz I want is right towards the back end of it. There it is. Get in, deliver, yes, all that fun stuff. Now, I can't be the only one that's made that mistake. I'm sure plenty of you have as well. And it is quite annoying, is it not? I think it is. I do love this car. Okay, let's just kind of glide. There it is. Okay, now let's do this again. And thank you, Don. We're not going to do it right now. Okay, see this? The current car should be the first car up, not recommended, current. Because the game doesn't know what you're doing. You know what you're doing. Just, it's just little tweaks here and there that, irritate me as far as, the way the game gets set up. Who thinks that is the way we want it? If we're in the current car, maybe we're in that current car for a reason. So maybe that should take priority over what the game wants to recommend. I'm just saying that, Playground. I'm just saying. You're a little bit backwards on your thinking in that aspect. So here we go. Bunch of old timers here. Look at that field. Look at that gorgeous field, though. Oh, yeah. Look at that. 215. 215. It just shattered the McLaren by 20 miles an hour. I love it. I love it. Okay. Gotta plug in my controller. Where does it? I can't see it. There we go. Okay. Got that. All right, so that's the first part done. What is next? I don't even remember what's next. Does anybody remember what's next? Let's see. Load, please. Okay, what? Stylish victory complete. Thank you very much. Okay, now let's see, the trial is back up and running. Okay. What do we got here? 1 hour and 41 minutes remaining on that. Oh, okay, that's all the same stuff we had before, right? Owned, yeah. All right. I just thought, well, because, hey. Next is Animal Crossing. Earn 2 stars from any Trailblazers in any Mustang. Okay, whoops, I didn't. Okay, that's right. Mustang. Cars. Change car. Oh, no, we don't want to do that. I want to do that. There we go. That is so much nicer. Any Mustang. Mach-E. Mustang Mach-E. It's a Mustang. So let's see if it works. Right? Why not? It is classified as a Mustang. I saw a beautiful one of these yesterday. It was a really beautiful burgundy with a nice metal flake in it. Gorgeous car. Just absolutely gorgeous car. Alright, I am in all of them, so that's good. And right next to it was a new Bronco. And I had never seen the green that this Bronco was in. It was like it was a darker olive with a decent metallic flake to it. just absolutely beautiful. I thought it was great. Those folks must really like their Fords. Bingo. All right. Yeah, I was afraid of that. It didn't give it to us. It did not. I'm pretty sure it did not give it to me. Nope, it did not. So we got to change. We got to change. But it is a Mustang, so... Did I get 2 stars? I got 2 stars on it, right? I did get 2 stars on it. Pretty sure I got 2 stars on it. What is 2 stars on that? 10 seconds. Oh, I had to have gotten 2 stars. I mean, my gosh, I usually 3-star this in my sleep. But I wasn't paying attention. So let me double check. We're going to run it again with the Mach-E. Here we go. So we've got to do this with 10 seconds remaining. See, all day long. There you go. All day, every day. You know you did it. However, it's just not working. So apparently not every Mustang. It does say any Mustang, did it not? Let's reread this. Let's revisit and reread. Earn 2 stars from Trailblazers in any Mustang. Well, guess what? We are in a Mustang. So, Forza? You lie. You lie like a dog. Naughty, naughty, naughty. Right. Let's collect our points and we'll switch to a different Mustang. And while that does that, I'm just going to... There we go. Okay. Got our stars. Now we go to our cars. Go back to Ford. And there's a Mustang, but it's not equipped properly. RTR. Oh, this one has dirt tires on it. Might as well use this one. All right, let's try this. Yeah, I want it delivered. Of course I want it delivered. What do you think I want? Ooh, yeah, that's smooth and hot. I like that tea. Yes, tasty, tasty. Here we go. Swing it back around. And there's the gate. Hit it pretty decently, I guess. Remember, 10 seconds is the 2 stars. 10 seconds is the 2 stars. We got it all day long. Now, do we get it here? There you go, Animal Crossing. So it just can't be the Mach-E. So don't waste your time. Now we got to take a picture of any vehicle. Oh, okay, that's pretty simple. That looks like a lovely... Yeah, that's a lovely picture. We'll let the points collect. There we go. Thank you. And now we'll just take a nice little photograph of the Zika. There, that's a pretty decent looking photo. Yes, I like it. It looks nice. Continue. Let's go back. Exit. And that should give us a next... you know, obviously this is going to be a pretty quick playthrough list. So I plan on doing some Hot Wheels Rivals as well, so just to put a little bit of length on this, I'm not gonna be a jerk about it. Ideal make, win a street race in a rods and custom. Okay, so we've got to go to rods and custom. Let's go to our cars. Change it up. Rods and customs. Rods and custom. The hot rod and the custom. All right, what do we got here? We're doing a street race, so it's got to be something a little bit more substantial. You know, the deluxe might be the way to go on this one. I'm thinking about it. No, I'm not going to do it. I thought about it, but I decided not to. I'm actually going to use this one. The old ZZ Top. Oh, wait, I did. This has got somebody else's tune on it because it's from the Poop. I put the tune on it from it would have been, yeah, it's not the Chop Top. Oh well, it is what it is. I mean, come on. Oh, there's a street race over here. Oh, I don't really want that tight of turns with this car though. How about this one? What do we got here? Okay. Those turns aren't as bad. Right. Okay. Let's start solo Horizon Street Scene, and I have to remember to go to current car. No, I want current car. Thank you very much, you idiots. I say phooey on you. That's what I say. Phooey, phooey, phooey. So, oh no, that's the paint job, not the tune. That's alright. Just waiting for it to get with the program here. The load times are, the load times. What are you going to do? Nothing you can do. You got to just sit and wait and take it on the chin. Here we go. Hopefully yes, okay, good. Tourist is still there. Avante. Off we go. This car has no grip. Oh, I have no grip. Oh, no. Milk was a bad choice today. I'm gonna have to bully this thing around, I think. Not what I had wanted to do, but it's what I'm gonna have to do. Alright. At least it gave that to me. I'm fortunate that it gave that to me nicely. Oh, Jesus. The front end just is not doing anything. That's sad. Basically, it's glide, stop, and then hammer. I mean, I will say it's got acceleration. It might be a drag setup. I wonder if this is a drag setup. I don't know. I mean, it goes in a straight line, great. You just got to feather the gas on these turns. There's a lot of gliding going on. Fortunately, the competition is fairly far away, so I'm able to get away with it. Bring it on and around. All right, here we go. You know, these old cars like this. I would love to drive one of these old cars. I've always seen them on the road, you know, and never had the opportunity. I never traveled or socialized in that community. You know, obviously the whether you refer to it as gearheads, petrolheads, car guy, whatever you want to call us, we are actually split into our own little entities, you know, our own little communities. You know, you've got road track racers, you've got road racers, you've got oval track racers, you know, you've got street racers that do the tuning stuff, you got drag strip, street drag. Then you've got the whole other area, whereas specific makes, you know, you have like Ford groups, Chevy groups, Mercedes groups, Porsche groups, Lambo group. You know, you have specific groups of makes. And then within that, you also have specific groups of models. Like, you know, there's the Corvette crew. There, you know, you have the 911 group, Alpha Julius, Lotus. You know, they have their own little factions. You know, everything has its own little faction, and I can't say these are classic anymore. A 32 Ford, that's an antique in my opinion. Even though this vehicle here is cool as hell, 32 falls under the antique, does it not? Wouldn't you say it's an antique? 300 miles per hour across, all right, and a cult classic, okay. Speed traps too, by the way. So and it's just an avenue I never have gone down or associated with. While I do enjoy looking at them at car shows, I have never really, you know, I've never seen them at track days at any specific track or anything like that. So it's not a community I've had the opportunity of being a part of, I guess. Is that? Maybe I've had the opportunity. I just never took the opportunity to be a part of that community that would have these kind of vehicles. I guess, yeah, that's probably the best way of saying that. And it's a shame on my part because honestly, some of these older vehicles are they're phenomenal in my opinion. They really are phenomenal. And I should pay more, you know, as I get older, I do have a better affection for them. If that's probably, yeah, why not? Let's use the Gremlin. Why not? I'm gonna use the Gremlin. You know, and that's another thing that I absolutely love about the car world in general is there's so much to be seen and done and driven. You know, there really is a lot to be able to what am I trying to say here? I don't know. It's you can't say it's endless, but you know, if you want to get involved with all the communities of car people out there, it's gonna take a lot of time. I mean, it's not endless, but by golly, it's in abundance. How about that? And that just screws our speed up. Obviously, the Gremlin does not handle all that well. 193. So as long, there you go. All you got to do is hit another 107 and we've got it on the next speed trap. AMC, it's just it's really an unsung hero almost when it comes to American cars. Yes, they made the Gremlin and you got the Pacer, but the Javelin and the Rebel and the they actually had quite a few decent vehicles in their day. American Motor Company was, unfortunately, it just got absorbed into the larger, companies, as many automotive companies did. In the middle of the night, in the mid 1900s to late not late, but I would say 70s is when they got absorbed by Chrysler. I believe. Was it 70s or 80s when they got absorbed? I can't remember. I think it was late 70s when AMC was absorbed by Chrysler. And then Chrysler came out with the Eagle division. They absorbed Jeep. Chrysler absorbed Jeep in the 80s? That makes... I think it was the 80s that they absorbed the Jeep. Okay, there you go. There is all of our lovely daily challenges. Unfortunately, we don't get the 20 points for the Eliminator because we can't play the Eliminator. So, thanks for screwing out, everybody that can't do that, Horizon. Groovy. It's mighty kind of you. Idiots. So let's go to Hot Wheels Park and travel that way. I mean, in the mid 1900s, I would say, what would it be? 60s? Was it the 60s when GM started absorbing everybody? GM, geez, oh Pete's. They just decided, well, we want everything under the sun. They grabbed Cadillac, Chevy, Oldsmobile, Buick. It was what it was. Was it good? For a time, I think it was, and then in the 80s. You kind of saw the greed taking over at GM, and they really weren't terribly concerned about the driver. They were more concerned about the buyer. They wanted to churn out as many as they can, and so we've got a lot of cookie cutter vehicles with just all they did was tweak the front and rear fascias and slap a different badge on it, That through the 80s and into the 90s, that was the case with Chevy, Pontiac, and Olds, and even Cadillac in some areas. Although they did disguise the Cadillacs a little bit better, just because obviously you have a much higher income buyer, I guess would be people are going to buy and always have and always will buy Cadillacs because they are Cadillacs. Let's be 100% honest with ourselves on this, okay? actually, I don't know where I left off, so I need to look at... We need to look at this real quick. Okay, so we need to... Snowfields, clean time. Snowfields. Speed circuit. Forest Falls, hazard sprint. Okay, those are all, okay. Hazard, hazard, hazard. Post a clean time on the Canyon Loop speed sprint. Canyon Loop is what we want. Okay, Canyon Loop. Canyon Loop is where we're going to start. Speed. And we want Canyon Loop. Canyon's Edge. Canyon Loop, that's what we want. What are we looking for here? It's a 5.8 mile sprint. B class, 6 minutes. A class, 5 minutes. S1, 2, 3 minutes on the S2. You know what? I'm going to do the A class. And I'm just going to use the DB11 that I love to use. Because I like the DB11. You know, that's, you know, going back to GM and, you know, I mean, they're still up to the same tactics, let's be honest. You know, what is the difference between the Escalade and the Tahoe and the Yukon? Well, I'll tell you the difference. Badging is the most obvious. Other than that, you might have a higher wood trim appearance in the Cadillac and the GMC over the Chevy. Maybe a little bit better leather. If you're going leather, you know, it's just, its appearance is all it is. They all operate the same damn way, and you're going to end up paying a crap ton more money. Chevy from the GMC. The GMC is going to be a heck of a lot more. And then if you're going Cadillac, you're going to pay even more. So, yeah, it's just ridiculous. You know, it just, what it boils down to is people wanting the status of a certain symbol. That's just my opinion of it, you know. And it's just sad. The love of the car itself. And when I say car, I do mean anything of four wheels and, you know, sport utilities can fall under the car. Automobile. How about automobiles? There you go. We'll just say automobiles. Or autos. Maybe. I don't know. Whatever. But it's all the same. You know. We've really gotten away from the spirit, I think, the spirit of the car, the freedom and the individuality that it can bring to you. Now, there are communities out there that embrace that, and they will take a hold of that. You know, that's one of the things, even though I really, while I don't, you know, I don't go out and seek out the tuner. Damn it, there it goes. I don't seek out the tuner world, the tuner community. I do not do that. But I respect the tuner community, and here's why: because they put their heart and soul into their vehicle of choice. Okay, they make it their own on what they want. Okay, so like we do in this game, we can tune the car the way we want to tune the car. We can put the paint job that we want to, we can make the car look the way we want, right? We can customize the wheels. We can say, hey, I want a spoiler. I don't want a spoiler. You know, you can make it functional racer. You can make it a beautiful appearing car. Okay? And that's what I respect and love about that tuner community. What they are able to do, it's just awesome. You know, it takes me back to when I was a small child, and you know, you'd see these. You go to the auto show as a little kid, which was awesome to begin with, right? Because you've seen all these cool cars. But then you come across the concept section of those cars, you know, of the manufacturers. Because, you know, the manufacturers would always have the concept, you know, the cars of the future. And these things were just, you know, obviously a lot of them weren't real cars. A lot of them were actual cars. You know, they were like an actual, say, oh, like an Eldorado, and it was a Cadillac Eldorado, but with some fancy bodywork done to make it look space agey type. You know, that's the best way I can explain it. If they were a functioning concept, right? And then there, you know, as time goes on, some of those vehicles were just like foam. I think in the early 2000s, when Pontiac came out with the GTO concept, might have been late 90s too. The GTO concept, it basically was very similar to the Camaro that we have today. And when I saw that concept, you know, of course I'm a full grown ass adult at the time, you know, I saw that at the Detroit show, and it was a foam, life-size foam thing. Like, it was made out of foam. It wasn't a real thing. It wasn't, you know, and they just put like real wheels and stuff on it. It was, you know, it was what it was. But when I saw that, it just, I says, man, I would buy that. I would buy that GTO. That is Pontiac taking serious the heritage of the GTO, right? And then fast forward a few years, and geez, oh, geez, you get that. Now, mechanically speaking, the GTO that we got years later, it was a powerful car. It was a, you know, it was well built, but it was just ugly as sin. It really was. I mean, and it, you know, it was a Vauxhall, or maybe it was a Holden. Either way, it was what it was, and there's nothing you can do about it. And then they came out with the G8, and the G8, because it flopped so bad, it just, yeah, it killed Pontiac, and that's a shame. Because I loved Pontiac. Pontiac was Pontiac. So GM had they had it all at one point, right? Because you had your Chevrolets, which they still have, but the Chevrolet was the meat and potato, right? That was your meat and potato guy. The everyday run-of-the-mill average Joe wants a decent car, you know, at a fair price, right? That was your Chevrolets. Then you had your Pontiacs, and the Pontiacs were for the average Joe that wanted to pay an average price, that wanted a little bit of sex appeal and sportiness to their vehicle. That was the Pontiac. That was the area in which the Pontiac succeeded for buyers. And then you had the Oldsmobile, which the Oldsmobile was kind of like, it fell right between that the sportiness of the Pontiac, and then it was teetering on the luxury side of the Buick and the Cadillac. Okay. Now it was maybe a moderate to a no, it was a moderate price. It was an average price. Oldsmobiles were maybe a little bit above average for price, right? They were still affordable, is what I'm trying to say. They were just on the, you know, the low end of the higher affordability, if that makes any sense, right? Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. I don't know. But and then you had the Buick, which was the Buick was going to be the one that got you, you know, almost to the Cadillac, but not the Cadillac price. You know what I'm saying? And then you had the Cadillac, which was the top luxury line and still is of GM. And yeah, it is what it is. 321. Might as well do it with the S1. Might as well. Might as well. What do we want to use? Okay, we're going to go to the Vantage. Might as well. Okay. And they're in line. You know, I grew up as a GM kid. You know, my dad always had GM vehicles. You know, he always had a Tornado, and he always had a Corvette. You know, which is kind of funny. He always had the GM products, right? And he always got my mom. Actually, so AMC was absorbed by Chrysler in the 80s. It had to, because my mom, she had not one of these, but she ended up getting two of these because she absolutely loved them. The AMC Eagle, where it had and I kid ye not, look it up, the four-wheel drive, it switched from two-wheel to four-wheel by a lever. It was an actual slide lever right below the headlights. You just slid it over, and apparently that did something that made it go four-wheel drive. I always thought that was a gimmick. I thought it was in four-wheel drive at all times, and they just put it there to make you think you were doing something special. The first Eagle she had was just doo-doo brown. I mean, it was brown. And I think that was just my dad being a dick. Because I know for a fact he hated brown cars. And still to this day, he hates brown cars. But he bought her a brown car. So, yeah, you do the math. Okay, then the second one, she had that for a few years, and then she got another one. It was more of a burgundy candy apple type color. And my sister and I dubbed that Sherman, as in a Sherman tank. Because that thing, I swear, that thing would go through anything. And I wish she would have had that thing when I got my license. and was well, let me rephrase this. I wish she was ready to get rid of that, pass on to me when I got my license, because I would have loved to have that as my first vehicle. As much as I hated it in my youth, the older I got, the more I was like, you know what? There's a lot of possibilities with this thing. It may be ugly as crap, but I can do some stuff with this thing. And I'd love to get a hold of one of those now. I really would. And I'd love to be able to adjust it a little bit, because now in today's world, you have like your Jeep Gladiators, which might be almost similar wheelbase. I don't know. But I would think maybe a Wrangler, a 4-door Wrangler might be also. To put something like that body style on that rolling chassis, I think that would be interesting. You know, and I've seen them beefed up, and there was actual Eagle before they got bought out by Chrysler, and it was still AMC. The Eagle also, they had a 2-door Sport, which I was like, well, why couldn't you have gotten that? Because that one actually looks kind of cool, you know, and it does. And that, you know, I would like to get my hands on one of those to have fun with, you know. Where am I going here, folks? Did that not take? What are we doing here? My hand is off the stick. Okay, there we go. You know, my mom was... Growing up, my mom always had AMCs or Jeeps, you know. She had an original, I believe it was, the AMC Cherokee Chief. Blue. Big-ass vehicle. I barely remember that vehicle. That's what she had when I was very young. And I don't remember what she got after that. I don't remember her vehicle between the Cherokee and the Eagle. I really don't. Isn't that weird? But I distinctly remember the 2 Eagles that she had, and then she got into the Cavaliers. And it all went down from there. No, I'm joking. Okay, here we go. Speed. That's the one I just did, yes? Loops. Yeah, okay, so we got to do this speed sprint here. And let's 6.7 miles. 8 minutes. 17 minutes in the A class. I could take all day in the A, so that's what we're going to do. This time I'm not going to use the DB11 because I did already. So let's use something else. Something more neat. I'm not using an Audi. No. That's set up for off-road. Off-road. Why do I have so many Beamers set up for off-road? Jeez, oh Pete's. Oh, the M3. Let's use the M3. Why not? You know, when my one grandma died, she had a Cadillac Fleetwood. Okay, it was a Fleetwood, and this is before I had ever owned a car with a carriage top. For those of you that don't know what a carriage top is, it looks like a convertible, but it's fake, right? It's not a convertible. It just has that convertible look to it. That's what the carriage top is. That's the easiest way to explain it, right? And I've never, at that point, when my grandma passed, I had never owned one of those. So I didn't know the pains in the ass that those things are. However, she had this beautiful Cadillac Fleetwood at the time, and it was a darker metallic gray. It had a black carriage top on it, and then it had this beautiful it was the spare tire was old school, where it was mounted on the back bumper, and it had like these chrome luggage straps across the trunk of the car. It was really cool, and I always thought it looked cool, and I was like, I want that car. And unfortunately, she left it to my aunt, and my aunt got it, which okay, fine, more deserving than I would dare say. But man, that was a cool car, and my aunt drove that car for years after that. Just because, you know, my grandmother hardly drove that car. I mean, she probably had that car. Let me think. I'm gonna have to think this one through. When did she get that? She passed in the mid to late 90s. Well, let me think. It was maybe 90. My niece was already born. My son was not. Or no, maybe my sister was pregnant with my niece. Right around the time that she had passed. So I remember my sister and my cousin were both pregnant at the same time. So that might have been at the memorial get together. So that would make, yeah, either way, it was late 90s. Let's put mid to late 90s is when she passed. And this Cadillac she had was probably an 80, I'm going to say an 88. It probably was an 88 Fleetwood. Very boxy car, but very cool the way it was. I mean, it had all the dressings and extras you could get on it. And so, let's say she had that car for probably, well, at the very least 10 years, right? That car probably had maybe 8,000 miles on it when she passed. You know, she didn't drive it much. She, you know, it was basically go to the store and back type thing. You know, so basically, I mean, when you think about it, my aunt inherited almost a brand new car. And that was a great car. I wonder whatever happened to that. Well, she traded it in for, I think she traded it in for her Jimmy, or Envoy, or whatever it was that she got. I can't remember. It's been so long. It's funny though how, you know, I can remember events and things depending on the cars involved at the time. Like when my son was born, I remember, you know, I had my 96 Impala SS, black cherry. Oh, that was a car. Oh, that was a car. Loved that car. Beautiful car. You know, my wife at the time, she had, actually, I tell you what, that she had a Ford Tempo that I had bought just before we got married. I bought this car because I was working at a dealership, and I had just taken in a trade, and This was the actual story. It was a little old lady who had this car. She traded in this Ford Tempo for a Buick Century because I was selling Buick Pontiacs and Chevys at the time. And she came in to get a Century. And she had this Ford Tempo. It was 4-door. It was gold. This thing was about as clean. I mean, you could have eaten off of any part of this car. It was that clean, hardly driven. It had like maybe, not even 12,000 miles on it. It was just beautiful, right? And I took that in on trade and dirt cheap. Took it in dirt cheap. She didn't care. So about maybe 2 hours after I delivered the Century and took it in on trade, my fiance at the time, she calls me up and says she just blew the transmission on her car. The clutch was gone. Well, if you knew how she drove a stick, you'd understand. But it was an old Escort. It was not well maintained. I don't think it was that great of a car to begin with when she purchased it, but it is what it is. And I was like, well, all right. So I went into my boss's office and I says, hey, you know what? What deal can you work out for me on that Tempo I just took in? So I got that Tempo dirt cheap. I bought that Tempo dirt cheap. And that was a great car. I ended up having to drive that for a little while myself during the divorce, but it was a great car. It's a shame that it got destroyed. Yeah, that was we aren't going into that. But I got into an accident with that car, and it's a shame. Speaking of the Impala SS, well, I would love to use it, but it's not really a good handling car to use for what I'm trying to do right now. It's a very bulky car to use. Oh, well, I do use that a lot, don't I? Oh, let's go with the challenge. Let's do that one. Why not? Why not, eh? Alright, so we're going to load this up. Oh, my back is jacked. I got to get a better seat or something here. Okay. Wonder if those massaging beads work all right in cars. Anybody have experience with that? Let me know in the comments. Okay, here we go. Avante. Got to do our James May impression because we're in a Ferrari. And May likes his Ferraris. So what vehicles do you remember? What are the earliest vehicles you can remember that you were fascinated with? Or what got you interested? There's a better question. What vehicle was it that got you interested in cars? Maybe you're not interested in cars. I don't know. If you're playing a racing game, maybe you just like to race. I don't know. But it's an assumption I make that if you're into the racing games, I just assume that you're kind of into cars, right? Or maybe you're just into my voice and that's why you're watching this video. I don't know. Each to their own. Obviously, the supercars and the hypercars are all very attractive. Well, not all of them. But they're attractive. They capture our attention, right? But then there's your everyday car that sometimes it just grabs a hold of you and it is what it is, right? To where you don't know why you like it, you just like it. Maybe there's a life a life experience or memory that you have around a specific car, and that's why you like that car, or that's why you don't like that car. You know, that's why I don't like mid-70s Corvettes, because I was stuffed into the back with my sister even. Because the old man had to drive everywhere in his Corvette with a family of 4. You do the math. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I've gotten past it, but I haven't necessarily gotten over it. Oh. You know, when I look back at my childhood to where we are today, and I think a lot of people my age, around my age, can say the same thing. When it came to safety, our parents had no clue what safety was. I'm saying that right now. When I look at my childhood versus my son's childhood versus my grandson's childhood now, right? The level of concern about safety, right? There's little change between my son and daughter-in-law versus me, but there's a huge ass gap between my parents and me. Okay, I mean, it's a huge gap. You know, I think it more along the lines of society in itself. We're not terribly concerned about safety. You know, it wasn't. Oh, we got to do the Goliath. Oh my gosh. Okay, this one's gonna take a bit. Wait, let's be honest. 40 minutes on a B class. 16. That's pushing it. That is pushing it for the Goliath. Well, no, I'm thinking Goliath of Australia and Goliath of... Sure, let's do an S1. Why not? We left off with Ferrari, so let's start off with Ferrari. Okay, so... the 360 is what we were just in. Maranello? No. F4? Oh, that's dangerous territory there, kids. Yeah. I mean, we can do the 330 down there. Oh, how about the old Testarossa? No. Actually, no. I thought about it. The Escort RS. No. Most of those older Fords are set up for... Oh, we aren't using a drift zone. No. No drifters. No Hoonigan. No Hot Wheels. What do we got for Jag? The XKR, no, I haven't used that very often. But no. Crossbow. I don't use Lambos very often, do I? Obviously not, because there really isn't one tuned. For anything. You know what? Let's just use... I mean, this is bone stock. Well, not bone stock, but you know what I'm saying. No, I don't want to use that. I'm kind of indecisive today, aren't I? Yeah. Well, alright, let's use this. Why not? I don't use Maseratis that often on this game either, so... I probably use Maseratis less often than I do Lambos, so let's give it a run. I think this is just the bone stock Forza edition, isn't it? Yeah. I'm pretty sure I don't have any upgrades or anything done other than what the Forza Edition offers. However, there is one thing I want to check, and I can't tune it. All right, fair enough. Fair enough. Wonder why you can't tune it. Interesting. What are we shooting for? 1152 and clean. Actually, really, just clean is the only way I want to be right now. Yeah. Maseratis. Now, there's a car that... There's a manufacturer that has had its ups and downs. And you know what? I, for one, am glad to see that this company has survived over the decades. It really has. It's become, well, at one time it was really the underdog. Oh crap! It was the underdog. You know, when Chrysler got a hold, and Chrysler did their whole little thing with Maserati, that to me was probably spelling the end of the Trident brand. And I went to high school with a gal that had one of those Chrysler / Maserati vehicles. And you know what? It didn't do anything for me. You know, because at that time, the Trident really didn't mean anything. When you're looking at like racing and everything like that, here's a car brand that had a solid racing heritage up to a point. And then all of a sudden, and I've seen a few documentaries on the company itself, and I can't remember what occurred right off the top of my head on why they started going through issues, but maybe it was mismanagement, maybe it was losing the right CEO, the right people. I think it was probably the leadership. Maybe. I don't remember off the top of my head. Somebody help me on that one. But you know, in the 70s, Maserati really went through some struggles. And then in the 80s, it was just, are you kidding me? Really? Then they started pushing their way back. 90s was, I don't remember any news about Maserati really in the 90s. I don't remember any standout vehicle that might have been there in the 90s. At least on my radar. Maserati didn't come back on my radar as a car person until in the 2000s with some of their cars. What was it? I can't even remember which car it was. But now we look at the Maseratis now, and I do see them in abundance out and about. And I'm so happy to see them back. And they are some of the most beautiful cars on the road, in my opinion. I think, honestly, I think they are just absolutely gorgeous. Even their crossover, it's beautiful. Now, would I take that over the Alpha? No, I would not. I love my Stelvio. I say my Stelvio. I don't own one. I love the Stelvio, though. I think, to me, the Stelvio is probably the sexiest crossover out there right now. That's just my opinion. You may think something else. Maybe you think the Macan. But I tell you, actually, what comes close is the Jag. That Jag, not the F-Pace, but the E-Pace. That Jag E-Pace, holy crap. I pulled up next to one the other day, and I couldn't stop looking at it. I really couldn't. It is such a beautiful vehicle. Hold on, I got a cramp here for a second. All right. So, yeah, the E-Pace, it's right there. It's knocking on, as far as, what I like, it's knocking on the door of the Alfa. It's not through the door, but it's knocking on the door. I think right now Alfa's got some sexy cars. They really do. The Stelvio and the Giulia. I love that Giulia. I think that's a beautiful car in its own right. I love the front end on Alfas. I just think they're beautiful. Okay, here we go. What's your favorite car right now? Current car? It doesn't have to be a hypercar or a supercar or anything like that. Just everyday. What would you like to have as an everyday driver? All right. Now, remember where you live, and if you live in a place where seasons change, you need to take that into an effect. I mean, your everyday driver, something that you would drive every day year round. Living in Michigan, we have snow and ice. And I would, hey, the Stelvio to me, that would be the ultimate everyday driver for me. I would love to have that. And, I mean, right now, hey, I've got a Jeep Renegade. I love my Jeep Renegade. I will say, the more I drive this Renegade, the more it's becoming my favorite car of all time. And for those who know me, to make that statement, to state that this Renegade that I have is slowly creeping up on the Olds Tornados that I absolutely love and adore. For me to make that's a huge statement for me. Those who know me know that. In fact, my ex-brother-in-law, when I said that very thing, I said, yeah, it's creeping up to being my all-time favorite vehicle. And he says, more than a Tornado? I says, yeah. He says, oh, that's a huge statement. And it is. It really is. I love this Renegade. It fits perfectly my life right now. I used to always have cars. I love my cars. I never really thought about any kind of crossover or SUV or anything like that. I never did. Until, one day I was in my Jag X-Type, and I was at an intersection, and I had a Cadillac Escalade XL on one side of me, and like a Ford Excursion, an older Ford Excursion, or no, what was the big one? Was it the Excursion? Yeah, it was the Excursion. Yeah, the big Ford was the Excursion. And I had that on the other side of me, and I could not see anything. I felt like, oh my gosh, I am going to get crushed if something happens to where these guys come together, and I'm a pancake, right? So it was that day that I said to myself, I don't feel safe in being this low anymore, so I want to get something a little bit taller. And that's when I started doing my research. And I set forth a budget, and I looked what was what within that budget. And then once I saw that size-wise and everything, I started looking at, okay, ins and outs of each of those models. And the more I looked at the Renegade, the more I liked it. The more I researched it, the more I liked it. And yeah, so then it was just a matter of finding the right vehicle for the right price. And I did. Believe it or not, I got it. You know, it was a CarMax. You know, me, a former car guy, you know, who would rather go in and negotiate a deal with a salesperson, actually went to CarMax. And I will sing CarMax praises. You know, I had a wonderful experience. I love my vehicle. You know, I feel for what I got, it was a very fair price. You know, the thing had everything up to date on it. Everything, you know, that needed to be, that you could put brand new on it. It was brand new, and that was wonderful. You know, so yeah, I think it's worthwhile. Was that was the end of those the rivals. That was all of the speed rivals, if I'm not mistaken. So with that, I think I'm going to end this stream there. You know, we're almost an hour and a half, but you know, it is what it is, right? Oh, I got a cable caught. What do we got? 100% on all those. We're 51% on the legend ranking. Obviously, we're not going to be able to get 100% because what one is it? It's that right there. I cannot do an open racing. And Hot Wheels Horizon Open Racing, I don't know. Drive 50 miles. Yeah, that's Horizon Open. I can't do that. And a Horizon Tour, I can't do that. So I'm going to get 10 out of 12. So there you go. So all of these should be hazard. Post a clean time on the Hot Wheels Goliath Rivals leaderboard. I thought I just did that. Did I not just do that? I thought I did. So hazard, hazard, hazard. Hazard, hazard, hazard. All right, hazard, hazard. So, yeah, you know what? We're just chopping away at that. Doing our thing, right? Absolutely. We've got 3 out of the 5. Discover and smash all boards. What do we got here? Complete every... yeah, we aren't going to be able to get that mission complete. And that's a shame. Because I kind of like that Hot Wheels suit. So, thanks for screwing us out of that one, Horizon folk. You bastards. You bastards. But hey, it is what it is. You know, the milk's been spilt. No use crying over it. Let's go over and do some wheel spins, shall we? I think we shall. And while we're doing wheel spins, why don't you spin on over to the Twitch channel there and follow the Twitch channel. How about that? And then while you're at it, spin on over to the YouTube channel and subscribe there. Like the video there. Throw a comment out at me. Say hello. How you doing? All that beautiful stuff. You know? Okay. And you can, you know, you can click the notifications. You can do all kinds of things over there. I find it very fun. Oh. Well, we started off good and we pittered out. That's a shame. Let's try it again. All green. Yeah. I want at least purple. I prefer yellow. There's one purple. What else we got, kids? Oh, there we go. That's all right. I'll take it. Well, kids, that's going to be it for me today, I believe. As always, just do me this one favor. As you go out into this wonderful world, this existence of ours, please do your very best to treat all you come in contact with kindness, dignity, and respect. And I hope that all that come in contact with you treat you with kindness, dignity, and respect. with that said, until we meet again, stay safe, and by all means, stay cool. Ta-ta!